Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning. How is everybody doing? Hey, good morning, Margaret. Yeah. So, welcome to Mid Morning Medium Chat, and I didn't do that real quick. That'll help. There we go. All right. So, yes, welcome to Mid Morning Medium Chat. I'm Adam, the Black Swan Medium. Thank you so much for being here and waking up and starting your day today. Hello, Kelly. Hello, Valerie. Hey, Kate. So, yeah. Wow. Uh, Margaret, I've had this for a while. Good morning, Jennifer. Um, uh, yeah, so I mean, a lot going on. Not saying me per se, but I think a lot of you are well aware of what's been going on, and I guess I you can kind of poke at that right there a little bit, Hence why I have that in there this morning. Hey, Lindsay, good morning. That's exactly why I put that up there. Because yeah, I mean, I think most people have been noticing it the last couple days, and then obviously tonight and last night and tonight, especially uh, pretty significant moon. A lot of people have been talking about it. A lot of people are prepping for it. It's kind of one of those things I didn't think about. I've had various topics come to mind as far as what I was going to talk about, when we usually get to towards 10 o'clock. And I had no idea because just one topic sounded really good and then it didn't. And then I was thinking of another one and then it didn't. So I was like, well, I can't settle on one. So that's why I kind of called this one another open topic thing. It was Kelly. I mean, I was outside, for the football game last night, for the high school kids. And so, yeah, you couldn't help but notice it. And I mean, I posted a couple photos, from the stands, which was pretty cool. I mean, but the moon wasn't perfect yet. It was, behind us from where we were sitting on the home side. So I didn't get to see the moon until we were leaving the game last night. But yeah, I mean, so I thought kind of, even though I left it as open, I think we'll probably just kind of segue into, what this moon is. I mean, there's a couple different titles for it. We're also just, started, I think it was yesterday, officially Mercury in retrograde. So, there's a lot of stuff combining together to make, the next, few days, the next few weeks for a lot of people, different, strange, there's and we'll get into it. We'll get into it. But like always, I like to kind of go back and uh, kind of catch people up on things and talk about a few stuff. And so let's see what you got. Oh, Valerie, let's see. Yeah. Hey, Dana, good morning. Yeah, that's great, Val. Because that's important. I mean, that's, something we can talk about, and that's great that you did that. This is a perfect time to, charge anything really. Crystals are, obviously what people, use for various different things. But they're important because a full moon definitely helps charge them. I mean, that's one way of doing it. So thanks for putting that in there. Oh yeah, Dana. See, now Dana's second, another one that is pretty popular. Having them in water and yeah, I mean, those are great, and that's definitely important. So I mean, if anybody that is watching or listening, you know, and you do have a nice collection of crystals and gemstones and things, you know, definitely get them out there. I mean, I would, whatever ones you want or whatever ones that you may use or you carry with you, or even just ones that you have displayed, try to get them in a window that the moon's going to see them. You can do like what Dana is saying too, is you just get them outside. You know, you can put them in a bowl or something like that just to help out. So, no little critters are running off with them. Not that they would use them, but or know how to. But I think, but it's one of those things. Depending on how you feel and what, but at least get them in the window, or put a table, by the window and have them set up to where they can be exposed to the moonlight, for a few hours. The longer, the better. But I've never seen a real true science to how long you're supposed to have them out there. I mean, everybody's got an opinion on it. Personally, I would like to see it, for several hours, or for as long as you can. I mean, granted, where you live, depending on how much, like I live in a neighborhood that has a lot of trees. So I have to get things that are almost pretty much right overhead, at least my house. And then, but if I go in the street, I can see, quite a bit, but I can't set up things in the middle of the street because that ain't going to work out. Hey, Kim, good morning. So, So yeah, that's one of those things that I don't I don't have a chance to do a whole lot of that. So a lot of times I have to do other ways of charging, cleansing various things that I need, whether it's like new card decks, whether it's I still do use and still carry some stones and crystals and things, and so yeah, sometimes I have to do that. But I use a copper pyramid for that because it's more convenient and I can do it, any day of the week, and so those are kind of cool if you've ever seen those. And I think I talked about them once a while back. Especially for different things that have popped up, when they've become relevant to, like a conversation like we're having today. But but yeah, I mean, uh very, very cool, interesting time, last night and tonight, I mean, um, it's interesting. I don't know, and maybe you guys can comment in the chat. Hey, good morning, Tanya, and maybe some of you are willing to, share some stuff and let me know, or give a little piece or a taste of like how your last, the last couple days have been. Tell me how you're feeling today, because I'd love to hear it, because I know we all experience these, astrological events, differently. And so I think it would be interesting to see what some of your comments are, or what you're experiencing, because it is, it's why I try to share what I can of what I'm going through, because whether it's the same as you or somebody else, we need to be together in all of this. That's the important part about why I try to do what I can. I try to share, you know, as much as I can, you know. Sometimes I don't always know how to explain it because it's so new and fresh, and but especially if you've never gone through it. So how do you really explain it until you really kind of figured it out? So sometimes I need a couple days or a little bit longer to kind of dive into it, or maybe I need to get into meditation and ask my guides what the heck's going on, which isn't uncommon, because we go through different things, and um, hey, good morning, Jennifer. Tanya, I'm feeling drained, low energy, tired. Yeah, and that's definitely a very common one. And I think it, like I said, we'll get into it because I want to read a couple things that I've seen some people post. And so, hey, Chris, I missed that you wrote in there. Sorry. And Dana saying my sleep has been off for the last 3 days, dealing with headaches. Yeah, see, Dana, I'm glad you said that. Valerie saying I'm feeling sad and depressed. Okay. Kate's saying full moons make me feel kind of heavy, like gravity is stronger. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm glad well, I'm not glad. I'm glad you said it, Dana, but I'm not glad that you went through it. The headaches thing, that's been unusual. Even I've had a couple odd ones that have shown up for a brief amount of time. That last night, we were getting into the van to leave, and unfortunately, everybody was doing the same thing, so we were sitting there waiting. But it was weird just sitting there in the van waiting, and sure enough, I mean, I had a little bit of temple pressure, and I was just like, where did that come from? And it was an odd timing of it, and it only lasted until we got home, and as soon as I got home, it cleared. So it was just, I've had those on and off. It's just, sometimes we get headaches and they kind of last for a while. This one, which is, I'm used to it, where it just shows up for a little bit and then boom, it's gone. It's just, 15, 30 minutes, and it's like nothing. And so it's just odd, but definitely Dana, thanks for sharing that. Jennifer saying I'm loving this full moon, but my moon in Pisces is, so the moon aligns with my energy. Yeah, see, and that's the thing, is like Jen right there, we're all going to experience things a little bit differently, and it's a lot of how you approach it. You can approach it from many different angles. You, like I try to do, I try to give you guys enough energy to think about these things. Hey, Mama D, hope you're doing well. I saw your one post this morning. So, love and light to you. I'm definitely thinking about you, and hope you're doing okay. And Dana saying, I noticed my headache has been starting as the moon has been coming. Okay. And Dana, is that every single time we've had a full moon? Hey, Rhonda, good morning. Yeah, good morning. So yeah, Dana, let me know if this every full moon. I'm just kind of curious then. So yeah, I mean, but that's what I was saying. I guess I'm jumping already into like what I kind of list as the topic, which I'll change in the notes. But no, something new. Okay, cool, Dana. All right. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I haven't, even for my headaches, during some of these astrological events, have been kind of ill-timed. They're not the same every single one, whether it is, a specific, moment or full moon or new moon, I mean, they're all various and just don't happen consistently or at different times. So yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, so but other than that, yeah, I had another decent, great week. Lots of messages. I it's fun because the more I've continued to do those walks outside, for work, and I try to get one in for sure, and then I'm lucky enough to where I can get two in, and so it's they've been fantastic, and they've done just so much for me, and I it's weird because I feel like I'm saying the same things over and over again every day, but I've been getting messages constantly on these walks, almost at least one of the 2 walks per day, at work. I'm picking up something or I'm noticing something, and then I'm trying to get that, shared to you guys so that way you can see what can happen, what is possible when you finally commit to things. And so I've been pretty fortunate that I've been consistent of getting out there, and it's nice. It has been nice to kind of pull away from things and not think about things. You're at work, you got to do work stuff. Your mind's always there typically until you get, home. Even on your lunch hour, you're still kind of thinking workish stuff, depending. So let me read what Shannon's saying. Good morning. Good morning to you, Shannon. I had a personal meltdown and crazy equipment problems this week. And like Jen, I'm a Pisces moon, Scorpion sun, been up all week, 2 to 3 a.m. See, whew, okay. Jennifer, this moon will heighten everyone's empathic abilities and sensitivity energies as well as one intuition, as with all full moons, but particularly those in water signs such as drink more water than usual, right? Hey, Cindy, good morning. Hey, yes, Shannon, with the Viking and me skull, not that there's alcohol in here. That would be great, but hey, Sharon, good morning. That's awesome. Yeah, so and and like you know I know it's funny this week I didn't have as many pictures that were significant for me to share, which it's the way it is. There's been times I wanted to, but I didn't get the shot I wanted, and it didn't wasn't as great as I would have liked because I try to get something that's a little bit more unique and not just like the same. Uh, you know, how many full blue, clear blue skies can you share? And it's just like, okay, it's a blue sky, I get it, but it's fun at the time when you get to see it and be like, there's no clouds, and that's awesome. And so uh Jennifer saying, I felt this moon over the weekend with the emotions and the ability to sleep. Yeah, see, and I guess we're just going to jump around at things. Let's just do that because it's easier. We've got a lot of great comments coming in, and I want to just stick with those. uh Interesting enough, and I've talked about this, a lot, like I said, try not to overdo it, but sometimes you just can't help. And so I've, you guys know, most of you that continue to stick with me and follow me. I've talked about a lot of sleep issues, and I've had sleep issues for years. And they vary. So it's not just one thing or one particular reason why they change. Sometimes every single night is something completely different. So it's you can't just say, "Well, do this." Okay, I'll do that, but then something else happens, and so it's just bizarre, and so it's hard to I can't hone in on some things. There is some aspects that I'm going to be trying, out here in the future. Here is trying to cut this out or do this differently. And so that's what's going to be the true test is if I can start eliminating, then I can narrow it down to just a couple things, um, you know, I mean, temperature is a one huge thing. If I have a two-story house, and so when you're sleeping upstairs, it's can be warm on hot days. When it's not 85, 90 degrees, those walls, the ceiling, I mean, everything's just warm, and you can't cool it down enough to where you're comfortable. And so if I start sweating a lot, it just keeps me up because I hate sweating. I know we need to, but I hate it. So Shannon saying, hey Rebecca, Mercury retrograde, nothing is smooth. No, no, no. And that's what I want to talk about Mercury and retrograde too, just in a second. But yeah, but I wanted but like I was talking about the sleep thing. Interesting enough, the technically I'm going to say the last 3 full nights, possibly 4, that, I and this is rare. So, I mean, this is why I gotta share this, and I think that's why I haven't said anything the last few days because I didn't wanna jinx it. But I've gotten sleep. I know. I should repeat myself. Let me repeat myself real quickly. I have gotten sleep basically the last 4 nights in a row, and let that sink in for those that have watched the show or seen my post, and you've heard how crappy my sleep is. So I have pretty much gotten sleep the last 4 days in a row. Only one of them, I woke up just a little bit earlier, but still close enough to call it a good night's sleep. And it's really strange. Now, I have some theories on it. I have my opinions on why that is. Uh, and who knows? Are they one right? Are they all right? Or is none of them right? I don't know. But to me, it's been, I mean, it was funny because when I got the first night, that happens once in, a few weeks. Once in a few weeks, I'm like, hey, I got one night, hey, or Candace. I know, Dana. I know everybody. Hey, Dinah. I know. That's why I said you guys are going to be shocked. To be like 4 days in a row, that's impossible. So, like I said, I can get one day, maybe a month at least. Thanks, Candace. Um, let's see, Sandra. Adam, what advice would you give to someone who feels they're nearly? Hang on one second, Sandy or Sandra. I'll come back to you. Uh, so the like I said, it's usually once a month that just finally I'll get one night, and it's weird. It's like literally for the lack of a better word, I got to have all my stars aligned for me to get a good night's sleep. I got to have the temperature right. I got to have my mind clear. I got to feel not stressed. I got to like have nothing that's worrying. I mean, all that kind of stuff has to just be eliminated for me to do it. And even then, sometimes I feel like I've completely like exhausted myself to where I should. And you would think that because I run myself pretty rough, that I would like just fall asleep or like once a week, twice a week, I should be like completely passed out. But it just that doesn't happen. Like I said, I've tried various things, you know what I mean? But let's see. Dana, apparently I've sent my sleep to you. May have. Uh, but that's what I'm saying. I didn't want to jinx it. I didn't want to say it because I wanted to see if I didn't do anything. Hey, Dad, if I didn't truly, not that it wouldn't have mattered. I don't think if I said it, but even then, one day's one day. When I had the second day in a row, I'm like, okay, this is a little different for me. What's going on? And I didn't know my headspace has been really good the last couple weeks, and that's why I said it goes back to the fact that I've been going outside more. Uh, you know, you go out once a day, and I'm not talking about getting in and out of the car for like work and stuff, but I mean spending some time outside has just made huge. And I've been able to do so much and release a lot and gather information that, just wasn't always, coming and going, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, Rebecca, Adam sounds like you need a bunch of planets in retro, right? Right. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's see. Candace, you are like me. I lay in bed and then my mind asks exactly, exactly. Yeah, good ground. Yeah, Shannon, absolutely. But that's what I said. It just, I mean, there's stress. There's always stress, at least what's going on. I mean, juggling as much as I do, trying to balance everything out. And then when you run into issues, that just, elevates things. And so, which, we all go through those, we all have those waves. And so that's just the whole thing. You know, it started off with work issues, years ago that caused me to have so many problems, and it just never ever truly went away. But, for me, I do like to analyze things. That's that paranormal investigator in me. I like doing the mediumship, and that one you don't have to analyze anything. You just get what you get, and you're done. But I like to still flip that investigator hat on and figure things out because it's kind of fun. Because when you find that, it's like searching for the messages. Like if you get a message, like I've shared a lot the last couple weeks, instantly, other than the one that happened yesterday, I think it was, that was the only one that I just didn't know what the meaning was to it. But all the others make sense because I know what I was thinking at the time. And that's important is when you notice those pop in there, you uh, you got to remember what your thought process was, where you were at, because it ties in a good over 95% of the time. It ties into what was going on at that moment. And then what that message was like the other day, I had the grasshopper that was like staring at me, which was just weird. He was flying backwards, but he didn't want to take his eyes off me. I mean, why? I've had grasshoppers just go whipping by or flying out of the way, but now this one was particular. He had to like look at me. He had to fly backwards while I was walking to make sure I understood it. Now I didn't know what it meant until I got back and I posted about it yesterday. After my lunch walk. So yeah, it's just things like that. But it's always good to record what you've got going on at that time when it happens. Even I shouldn't say even, uh, but that's just the importance of, and that's why you have to slow down a lot too, to be ready for those. Anyway, I wanted to make sure I missed anything. Um, I know. Okay, here we go. Let's see, Sandra. Let's answer this real quick because I do like to make sure I answer questions. Adam, what advice would you give to someone who feels they are nearing the end of this life? So, Sandra, if you're still in the chat, let me know if you're still around. Are you talking about somebody that somebody that family member or close friend and things like that? Are you talking about yourself by chance? I mean, I don't want to try to be too morbid of it and stuff, but I just want to see where your thought process is here. Is you know if I mean, I guess I can leave it in kind of uh, bold way of replying. Um, Regardless of who you're talking about. Um, I I guess the best thing is, a lot of us, and I think everybody can agree in the chat, we've we grew up and death for a lot of people has got that kind of scary feeling. We know it. Most people were under the assumption that we know it ends. Uh, and so we stuck to that. So it made us super afraid to want to pass, but we know we will. We have no choice. There's nobody that's can live forever. At least with this body. Let's put it that way. Um, to know it's the end, you don't want to put a negative twist on it. And I know that's going to be hard for a lot of people to understand. I mean, I did growing up. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to, especially die young. And even then, or see anybody around me pass away. You want everybody to live as long as possible. And, obviously there's things out there that the bodies cannot withstand and, or circumstances happen and, the path ends. And now, granted, even though we don't consciously know about it, we technically know we know but don't know when our last days are going to be. And because we have a contract out there, we knew when we were going to show up, we knew what we were going to be doing, and we knew how we were going to be, or we knew when we were going to go. Granted, we are consciously not allowed to truly know that, because then you would be living a different way of life. I'm just going to pull that down so I can get back to the comments at the bottom. Hey Tim, good morning. And hey Jeff. uh so for I guess I should do this. Let me answer how I feel nowadays, and I'm talking for myself and how I feel about death. uh Regardless of when it is, regardless of how it is, I'm truly not afraid. And I think the benefit and the bonus for me is the fact of doing psychic mediumship, that knowing friends and family are able to communicate to us still on this side. That's such a warm and comforting feeling that why would I be afraid to go? Especially if I go to sleep tonight and I don't wake up tomorrow. Why would I feel sad about that? Or what happens if I get into an accident? You know, it happens. And sorry about hitting the mic. Um, I just don't look at it that bad. I don't look at it negative anymore, and I really am comfortable with the fact of when it is going to happen. I'm totally okay, and knowing that, and I think that brought part of this up before, is knowing that even then, if for some reason part of the process is painful, depending if it's some type of disease. Hey, Carolyn, disease or an accident or, something of that nature. Knowing that at the moments that my final breath is and the my eyes shut type of thing, knowing that I will not be in pain at that point is encouraging. So I look at passing away, for me and I hope for everybody else is that, you know, and all I can do is share, what I've heard, what I know, and what I feel. That I think, it's in a way it's special, just as much as it was special when you came into this world. I think even leaving is special, and that's probably a weird way to look at it, but because I'm not afraid of it, because it doesn't bother me like it did when I was younger, and just knowing what I know just makes me excited for it. Not that I'm in a rush. I don't think any of us are, but I'm I am excited for it. You know, thank you, Jen. It's a graduation. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it really is because, you get to kind of look back at a little bit when you kind of move over to the next room to kind of go over a few things and stuff. And so I really am. I really am excited. So whether it's today or tomorrow, or maybe it's in 20 years, 30 years, who knows? Uh, I am. I am just so ready that I don't want to stop living now. I mean, I'm still going to live. I'm still going to do my thing, and I'm still going to try to be a part of a lot of your lives, and hopefully you guys can stay, and be friends with me, and we can just keep chatting until we have to wait until we see each other on the other side, because then we'll have a whole nother, situation, a whole nother little party to go on. And I don't know what kind of show I'll have over there, but but it's yeah, I mean, it's a great question, and depending on how you look at it, and even then, like, even if I was, having some type of serious disease that knowing it's terminal, again, I wouldn't be changing anything about my life. I mean, I would try to, see if I can overcome it. I would do everything I need to do. I would do so much to extend it as long as I possibly could. But if in the end it's just the body just can't handle it, and it's my time because that's what I signed up, for it to end, that's okay too. I mean, I'm not going to give up, but at the same time, I'm okay if that's the way it's got to go. So, let's see. Duh, duh, duh. Right, Val? Absolutely. I mean, it's a great example of, feeling, you know, um, for somebody like that, and I mean, everybody knew who she was. I don't think there's too many people that haven't heard of the Queen. So yeah, it's definitely sad to see that. And I think, I think a lot of us expected her to live so much longer. I mean, I guess 96 isn't too shabby, of an age to get to. So I mean, she definitely lived a life, and so I'm sure she's resting in peace. And you know, it'll be, you know, yeah, it's just special. And I think, it'll be neat to, maybe cross paths with her when I get on that side too, or we all will, just it'd be fun to kind of talk to her, because not everybody had a chance to, but she definitely was, an icon. Um, Margaret saying it's also a reunion of those who have gone before. I know I have a welcome committee waiting for me. You do. Uh, Carolyn, I see what you're saying. I know it is. And it's definitely, hey, Della, it is a thing, but it's just something that we were pushed on. We had those thoughts ingrained in us at such an early age that it is, for a lot of people the same way. They're afraid of it. And um, it's not easy. I can't just flip a switch for you to make you feel differently. It's something you have to do for yourself. I mean, I can only encourage you, and we can all encourage you, that it's not as bad as you think it is. Yes, we don't want to leave. Yes, we do enjoy this because but this is all we know. There's so much out there that we don't know, and that we're trying to tap into, that we're trying to understand. And we are getting snippets of things. We are seeing glimpses of what stuff is like on the other side. This year alone, I have seen things on the other side that I didn't expect or ever expected. So even for me, getting glimpses of stuff, and that excites me even more. It really does. I'm so excited because of the things I've seen and the things that we're all going to see when it's our time. And I think that's going to be the special thing about it. And for me, it's just going to be, it's like, it'll be a homecoming type of thing because I cherish the little things that I've been gracious enough to be allowed to see. And whether I was allowed to, whether it was so that way I can share that with all of you, who knows? But it's special to me. And again, it just brings me more comfort in knowing whenever it is, whenever my time is, it's just going to be, celebration of all celebrations. So, um, Rebecca saying, I'm going to haunt certain people. That's funny. Chris, yes, we know. Yeah, we know you're going to be wanting to see Tim. Mama D, totally understand it. I'm not afraid, not rushing towards it, but it would be okay with it. Yes, Mama D. Jill, I wouldn't say I'm excited, but I'm accepting. I have been with many family members when they drew their last breath and realized they're finally, yeah, yeah. Like I said, I'm not rushing. I am not, in any hurry. I would like to stick around a little bit longer. I think I feel like I have some more to provide and share, and that's what my feelings are. But whatever I signed up for, it is what it is. I will accept it regardless. But yeah, I won't lie and say I want to stick around a little bit. But like I said, whether it's tonight, today, tomorrow, or in 30, 40 years, it doesn't matter. Margaret, think about this for a minute. She lost her husband at 70 years last year. There are many examples of people dying in close times under those circumstances. Yeah. Yep. Hey, Stacy, good morning. Jennifer, I feel comfortable knowing that my conscious won't be in my body during the process, so it'll be freed from experiencing any suffering, as in the case with all transition. Right. Hey, Jim, how you doing, buddy? Good morning. Hey, and say hi to Donna for me too. Hope your guys' vacation has been going well. I think you were returning, but don't quote me on that. And Stacy, well, yeah, Stacy, I wouldn't deny that with you. I mean, if you, it would be fun to play some pranks on a few people. I think that would be kind of fun, but is that for the greater good of, why we're on that side then? I don't know, but it would be kind of fun. But then again, if it's like 30, 40 years from now, everybody's going to be pretty old. So trying to prank somebody in the same age group is going to be a little difficult, I would think, because you could just scare them right to death. And then, how would you feel then? Hey, Nicole, good morning or good afternoon to you. So yeah, I would, I would be kind of scared to try to pull a prank on an older friend at the time. Could you imagine that? Because they wouldn't be able to know. They would have no clue. I'm sorry, this is hilarious. They would have no clue because, they just passed because they were old age or whatever, and here it is. You scared them to death, and oh my gosh, that would just be that'd be a hoot. I'm saying this isn't in a comedic way. I'm not trying to be horrible or negative about it. I'm finding, some crazy humor in that because it just, it is. It's pretty funny though. Stacy, my daughter said I'm not allowed to touch her or make myself known to her, but if she leaves the room, I can move something if she's fine with that. Okay. You get a little something in there, which is cool because that's what a lot of guides do. They typically move something when you're not paying attention and they end up, moving it. And then it's like, okay, put it back. I know you guys are just trying to make a point, get it back. I've told you those stories before and they're always hilarious to me. But it is frustrating when your guides or family members, really want you to pay attention to them for a second and then do that. Hey, Chris, good morning. Della, doing well. I hope you're doing well. A great, I was talking earlier, so I know you probably missed it. It's been a great week. I've had a couple great weeks, and I can really truly say that walking during breaks and things at lunch or at my lunch and stuff at work has made wonders, changed a lot, helped me a lot. So, Rebecca, has anyone experienced possible past life dreams or deja vu with people? Great question. Great question. Right. Yeah. See, Stacy. So you've already got you've got that prankster guide kind of thing going on. So if you could see they can do it, I'm sure you'd be more than willing to do that. So, well, and Dad, move a chair or couch. That's whew, they got to be, lifting some of those spiritual weights. You know what I'm saying? Jennifer's answering Rebecca saying, "Yep, many." Uh, yeah, and see, like Margaret's husband Jerry was the TV. The girls, he would turn the TV on and stuff like that. Shannon saying yes. You would, Stacy, you would. Yeah, and I would agree, with Jen and Shannon. Yeah, I mean, you do, and I think when you look at it, I've said, we talked about dreams before, that you know it- dreams and your hobbies and the things that you're into, it's interesting because you really connect with that stuff. I never thought about it, and I always wondered why we all have things we're into. We all collect certain things, or we're always drawn to some things, and it's weird because we don't know truly why. And I've just one time dove into it. I was kind of asking my guy because I thought it was just different as to what that was, and I just, the answers that came to me were just the simple fact that you've been a part of that. You know, some people have fixations with animals. They collect animals and things like that. Uh, there's a good chance. There's probably an excellent chance that that's what they were in the previous life. You know what I mean? And that's pretty cool. I mean, granted, some people have weird, animal obsessions and things, but at the same time, there's that chance. There's that high chance that you were that animal in a previous life. Just like, I've got fixations with, certain cultures and things like that. And there's no DNA to prove any of it, but yet I'm so fascinated by some things that I just love it. And I realize that that's because I was a part of that a long time ago. And I think that's the coolest thing about it because it just makes no sense. It's, how does that work out? I mean, if you really stopped and thought about, like I have, I've spent plenty of time thinking these things through, and it just fascinates me knowing that there has to be a truer connection from the past, something that you lived through, something that you were, whatever it is, whether it's a culture, whether it's an animal. Um, Heck, who knows? You could have been a plant, could have been a tree. The possibilities are endless, as far as how far you want to look at that. So yeah, I love that. And that was a good question. And uh yeah, I mean, I think it's important to have those types of dreams or have those deja vu moments because it's just who you are. It's the person that you've become. That's the whatever life you're in right now, whether it's the first couple, the first one, or maybe the last one. It's important that you relive these things, and it kind of puts into perspective a little bit, which is hard because you don't remember any of that. You just remember that you're into this, you know? Why? But that's the fun part about it. It's just neat to have those thoughts running through it, or have like those symbols or those items around you that make you feel good every time you see them or you pick them up, or whatever it is for you. Or if it's a place that you feel comfortable with and you go to those places, whether it's another country, whether it's another part of your country that you live in. uh and so yeah, it's really neat that, and that's just how I feel now. Whether I'm right or wrong, it's just how I feel. At least that's what I was guided to. you know that was what my guides told me is the reason. So, because I don't, I've never heard a lot of people dive into that as much. So, oh no, you're good, Dell. Nicole saying I'm obsessed with castles and dressing Elizabeth. And yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's weird how that is. I mean, it's weird in a good way, not weird in a negative way. But yeah, it just is so cool. I mean, I love it. I just absolutely love it, and it fascinates me. And anytime I get to listen to people, or I get to observe them and see like the things that they're into, it warms my heart to see that, because then it's like, oh wow, that was something they were into. And you always ask them, well, when did you start doing this, or when did you start collecting this? And then they tell you, and then you're just kind of grinning, behind, internally, because it's fascinating to see what everybody's into, because and everybody's into different things and collecting things. And whether it's dressing up, whether it's uh, crystals, who knows? Maybe you were a crystal. Maybe that's why you have collections. I know people that have a lot of crystals. Maybe they were a crystal. Who knows? Who knows? But it's still pretty cool. I mean, granted, crystals, rocks, things of that sort can live for millions of years. So, you know, but then again, maybe something happened. Maybe, something happened with that rock, something happened with that crystal and it broke apart, it smashed and it went into a powder and then basically went back into the earth, recycled itself, and then here you are. There's a possibility, you know? So, Rebecca, the most bizarre one experience I've had, I was in Korea walking a path of cherry blossoms with a guy. Long story short, I started training a new Taekwondo club, and the instructor and I felt like we knew each other. And then it dawned on me he was native Korean. Ah, I have a lot of keychain magnet. Well, Della, I mean, you obviously were a magnet at some point. You know, that would be weird. I was a magnet and I was on people's fridges all the time. Sorry, that was a bad joke. But um but then again, Della, is there a common theme to it? Are they all just different? Are they all roughly the same? Is it just like places you've been? But then again, you might have something, magnetic about you. You know what I mean? You could look at who you are. What are the type of people that are attracted to you, or people that you like to attract to yourself? There's ways to look and dive into this a little bit. Jill, I think you are like a guy on quantum leave, just going from life to life. Probably, why can't you sleep at night? Yeah, it's very possible, Jill. Absolutely. I mean, I've 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 had the nights where I'm thinking about situations, whether it's just something I have to do, whether it's something that I see friends, having to deal with, whether it's you know career wise for myself and things. I mean, so there's a lot of times where I'll get to sleep for a couple hours and then I wake up hard into choices and like trying to analyze it. What do I need to do this or do I need to do that? And then I try to play the game. I like to role play it out to see where, how would look this way and how it would look if I go this way. And so it's crazy what I do to myself sometimes, and I hate that I do that, but it just is the way it is. Um, let's see, Della. It might be the magnetic energy you're into. Sure, sure. Oh yeah, she's Rebecca saying that. We made magnets of my son. Okay, Della, for his friends and family. Got it. As we all are, Jennifer's saying, as we all are, we astral travel through timelines and lifetimes during sleep. Some are aware of it and some are not. Yes, that's true. Very true, Jennifer. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I mean, the dreams are, when you are truly asleep, your brain wavelengths are at the levels of where you see people that are doing like mediumship, like what I do. You have to slow everything down. You can't be in this chaotic state of mind to receive those things. And that's why when we have dreams, especially of our loved ones that have passed away, uh, it's huge. It's critical to be in that frame of mind, to have everything slowed down, your breathing slower, your heart rate is slower, and your mind's just opened. You're able to just tap into those things. You're doing a type of mediumship, and even Jen saying it right. You are traveling. You are traveling to where they are. You're traveling to another place to see them or to meet them or whatever the scenario is for you. Dallas saying I had two crazy dreams last week. Okay. Um, yeah, so it's an interesting thing and that's why sometimes I've heard stories, especially years ago, that people that do things like I do, doing mediumship, that you aren't going to have the greatest sleep all the time. You are not going to be uh you know you're going to be woken up because you're constantly working on stuff. You're trying to, do better things for yourself. You're trying to uh, help others so much that's your thought process all the time, and it's a blessing and a curse, but I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't take anything away. I don't want to stop anything. I'm comfortable with it. I think if I really had problems with it and my life was so far on the edge of the line of where, because I'm exhausted and the fact that I have to have a day job and I have to drive an hour and 10 minutes to get to work, the mornings and afternoons are really rough at times, especially if I'm not getting a whole lot of sleep. So this week was great because, I've got some sleep, and so it was great to be able to have those times where I can get to work and not feel like I'm, dozing off and that my life's and somebody else's is at risk. Um, Stacey's talking about I've had some weird dreams last couple nights. Edward Casey could double task. Yeah, I mean, it I mean, ironically, we all can. Sometimes we just don't realize it. Sometimes we can do a couple things at once. We could be physically doing something while we're thinking of something because sometimes the physical is just a routine. You've done the same thing. I mean, you can't tell me you're in the shower and you're saying, "Okay, well now I need to get the wash rag and I need to put the soap on it and then I need to scrub myself." You're not talking yourself through cleaning yourself. I don't think you are. I'm pretty sure you're thinking of what you got going on or what's going on for the day because you've done that hundreds and hundreds and possibly thousands of times. So there's times and I'm just going simple that, I think you might take that for granted that we aren't doing double task a little bit more often because even then driving, we all pretty much all of us still drive. Are you really thinking about every aspect of a driver? Okay, I'm gonna check the mirrors. I'm looking at my speed, keeping my hands at 10 and 2. I mean, you're not talking yourself through that stuff because it's just a routine. You've done it and it's just there. So you have the ability to listen to other things. Put the radio on, put some music on, have somebody in the car and you're having a good conversation. So there's just things that you can do on a simplistic level to some degree. But yeah, return to work, but don't remember. See, Jen, ironically, thank you. That's glad you said that. I think it was either Wednesday or I think it was Wednesday or Thursday this week. And I told one person about this, and I can't remember who it was. Oh, I know who it was. It was another friend of mine. Uh, I drove home from work, and the odd thing about it, and this has happened in the past, it's just been a little while, but I've had this happen so many times, but it's just been such a long break. But when I got back to town, I didn't do anything different on the drive. I wasn't, I was in thought, and I can't remember if I had music on that day or not. But I got back to town, and I always fill up my gas tank every day. It's just a habit of mine. I hate to be stuck in traffic or an accident and then, be running low on fuel. So I'm a weird, it's kind of an OCD thing a little bit where I like to have my gas tank full all the time. But when I got back to town, I was just like, wow, that kind of went quick. But I look at the clock and it isn't. And so that's happened a lot where I just felt like I went from point A to point B in a matter of minutes. And it's weird to think that it's like I didn't do anything that I knew of consciously that did. So, but subconsciously, obviously I did. I obviously got home, without realizing everything in between. And in between, there's construction and there's all this stuff that I've got to be very aware of because of speed changes and traffic but yeah, it was the first time in probably a couple of years that or at least that I can recollect that I just got home. And it was, I just got back to town. I'm like, wow, that was kind of quick. And then I'm like, well, no, it's not. The clock is, the same. And I'm like, wow, so that's kind of fun for me. I don't usually get that in the morning as much. It's always going home. And I don't know if there's a reason for that too. But um, let's see, Della, before I moved away from my home, my son was on a railroad, asked for Taco Bell. I moved now. Oh, wow. Kelly, the most brilliant ideas come to me in the shower. It's remembering them when I get out. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yep. I get that, Kelly. Stacy's talking about Jennifer, mostly because I'm on autopilot and I'm thinking of other things. Exactly. That's what we do. Jennifer, yep. The brain does this during task you've done so many times that you don't need to focus on the miniature of the task. Right. So yeah. Yeah. It's amazing, and that's something, we've talked about and something I think most of us know. Our brains are just so amazing There's so many different aspects to it. There's things we still don't know. Uh, it just fascinates me, and that's why I think it's great that we can kind of bring these little things out and we can all talk about them because, yeah, I mean, what how does it all work out? I mean, and it's so weird that we haven't been able to tap into it all. It's a shame, but then again, we know how powerful our minds are. You know, you set your mind to something and you can achieve it, or you can, bring things into you. If you want somebody special in your life, you want somebody that's going to look out for you or care for you, that, things like that. I'm just using, some examples. You can throw that intention out there and they will show up. Now they're not going to be poof and there they are. Yeah, well, but it could happen. Could happen. You could just, say that and then you go out and you meet somebody who's like, whoa, that was quick. And it can happen. And it does happen. But sometimes, you got to wait a little bit because everything's got to line up for that to happen. But as long as you keep thinking that, as long as you keep pushing your mind, again, our minds can achieve so much. And I think that's what fascinates me is, that's why I always say, if you're having a bad day, like I've had bad days, and you give yourself a moment and then you got to pick yourself up the next day. And even if things still continue to be bad, you still got to keep pushing through it. It's the way it is. And so let's see. Dad, I disagree. I set my mind on winning the lotto and it hasn't happened. Well, that's because not all the stars have aligned. You still haven't you got probably a couple of them still left to work on. So you're just not doing something right. You got to figure out how to move all the stars, man. But then again, winning the lottery is truly winning the lotto. I mean, that's kind of a greed thing. I mean, sure, who doesn't want that? So that way you could be established for the rest of your life. But I think if you approach that a little bit differently in your mind, instead of from greed, which is, we all know this. I'm sure I can get some comments from a couple people. Greed's a bad thing. Most of us do know that, but yes, we know that's how the world works right now. Unfortunately, it's amazing that some paper and some coins make a huge difference in our lives, and unfortunately, we have to have that. Not necessarily, but things can be a little bit more challenging if you don't have any of that. So Rebecca, that's my dad. You just got to laugh at him for it. He's just giving me a hard time. So, but yeah, so you have to look at things. I'm not green. I just wanted, there it is. See, that's what I'm saying. There you go. He just spelled it out for it right in there. It is. Yeah. But right, that, and that is, we have to be careful too with the way we think things out. You got to remember you have to do things from a positive side of things. Yes, who wouldn't want money? Who wouldn't want a better life? You know who couldn't benefit from all that? But at the same time, what does that do for your life? Does it really truly help you, or does it cause stress? That's the way I look at it. Yes, do I play the lottery? Absolutely. But am I demanding of it? Do my demand in a way beg that I'm the winner, or I will be the winner? Nope. I'm doing it simply for the fact that I'm just throwing my chances out there. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, that's okay too. And if the universe doesn't want me to have it, then I'm just going to keep helping others with their dreams of winning the lottery. So it is. Chad, how you doing, buddy? As a Jew, I feel personally attacked by this one. You take it easy there, buddy. So, but yeah, well, and you're correct. I mean, any contest, any sweepstakes, anything like that, you can't you can't win if you don't play. And so, yeah, I just try to look at it that I just going to put it out there, and if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And I don't play all the time. I play here and there. Just it's just kind of one of those things. I you throw it out there and see what happens. Della, you're fine. Um uh but yeah, so we got about 5 minutes left. So you know, yeah, you just got to make sure that you're whatever you're doing for your mind. I know we've kind of jumped around a few things. We've been kind of talking about the whole full moon, the harvest moon, Mercury retrograde we're in. So it's just this kind of conglomerate of fun. I don't know if I want to say fun, but there's a lot of changes with that. And I guess that's something maybe we should end with before I close out. That with this double thing, going on, uh, expect changes in your life, whether you are closing a chapter or whether you're beginning a new chapter. And that seems to be the theme in a lot of what's going on today, tomorrow. And it sure extends a little bit before and a little bit after. But you have to look at what's going on in your life. Some of it has to be relevant to a serious situation, or and meaning either direction. You know, you could be, I mean, it could be as simple as a career. You could be, I really got to end this career because it's just been so stressful and I really need to find something else. Well, there you go. You can close out that chapter and then open the new one for, finding a new job or whatever that is for you. But there's a lot, maybe you need to move, maybe because, you just feel too stagnant in that house and it's time to move. Now's the time to do that. Now's the time to start putting all that into motion. And so I encourage you all to look at what's going on in your personal lives. And if there's things you need to close out, get on that. Don't let it sit there and fester. Um, it's gonna eat at you if you let it continue. And if you don't stand up for yourself, it's just going to cause more problems for you. So I mean, I do encourage you guys to really look at what's going on, and if there's things that you've been wanting to do or begin and start and whatever it is, get on it. Don't drag your feet. I don't care if you're shy. I was a shy kid growing up. My father could write in the chat room and say how shy I was easily. I did not come out of my shell until I was halfway through my freshman year of high school. I would not be doing this if I was still shy. I could not be doing this. I could not be going out to events. I could not be hanging out with all of you, wherever we are. I wouldn't do it. I would not be in this field if I didn't finally break that chain. So don't be afraid to do this stuff. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. My dad can tell you for sure. Um, I hated going out, just try to hide all the time. But let's see, Chad saying over here working two sides of the job can enjoy your rewards, always burning the stick at both ends, something I've always kept. Yeah, that's cool, man. Della, the full moon, etc. My anxiety is even more higher. I moved away from hometown. Yeah, well, and Della, yeah, I mean, you still got to look at the positive side of things. I go through anxiety too. Sometimes situations get to the point where you can't stop them from happening, and it happens. So, but you got to find things that uplift you. You got to find things that make you feel better. And it's not easy because I can't tell you do this and it might not work. You have to find what works for you. I've always said before, when I've had anxiety, the best things that worked for me was going and doing chores, putting the dishes in the dishwasher, doing some laundry, mowing the lawn. Because when those tasks are complete, you feel accomplished, and that changes the way your brain process functions, and it puts that sense of accomplishment. Whereas anxiety and stuff is things that are bothering you, things that you're fearful of, and it's sad that and a lot of us go through those moments. And I've shared a lot of them openly. I've been on this show on Saturday mornings, and I have been in the middle of an anxiety panic attack. And it's weird because you wouldn't know it unless I said it. And I'm glad that I was able to do things like that. I'm glad that I'm able to share those moments because you can see that I continue on. And I want you all to realize that you can do that too. So if you're having a rough moment, you can reach out to people. And I'm not going down like a dark thing. I'm just saying if you're having a moment, whatever the situation is, you can reach out to somebody, and just a couple words can change your whole thought process, or it can then ease that anxiety a little bit. And that's it. Don't look for like a medication that's just going to shut it off instantly. Look at it as that let's just take it back, let's take it down a notch, and then we can work forward through it. You know what I mean? That's the important thing. That's why, like, having friends that are willing to listen. Maybe you just want somebody to hear you out, or touch base on things and check in. Like I try to check in on people as best I can. My schedule gets full, but I try to reach out to a lot of people and just see how they're doing. I can't do it all the time because that takes me a long time. Uh, but I try to reach out to people that I feel like need a quick message. And again, a quick message is just simply like what you guys have been seeing in here. Everybody just saying hi to each other. Hey, how are you? It doesn't have to be a novel. You guys know that sometimes I write novels in my post and messages, to you privately, but don't look at it that way. Look at it as just I'm willing to take my time, or vice versa. You come into me. Uh, just look at it that we're willing to stop what we're doing and engage each other, whether it's a few words or whether it's several paragraphs. That's the thing that we got to keep doing. We got to keep reaching out to each other. We all go through various things all the time, and I've talked about it a lot. But you got to remember, you know, take your day. If today's a bad day, like for Della, if today's a bad day, then you need, to, tomorrow you got to start reaching out to people, whoever, whoever you feel like, you'll get some peace out of that. I get you, Della. I get you. But don't sit there and be stuck at home. Don't be, take your day, but then tomorrow get outside. Tomorrow go to a park. Tomorrow just go to a restaurant and eat. You know what I mean? Find something, whatever you can think of, or whatever just crosses your mind, go and do it. Don't sit there and take days and weeks. It's exactly what I was doing for a little bit. I was sitting here not doing a lot for myself, not on purpose. It's just because of timing, but I then created time at work. I'm like, what else can I do to help myself? And that's why I go for like a mid-morning, ironically to the show, a mid-morning break walk outdoors. Takes me about 15 minutes to get this lap outside through these parking lots and come back inside. And then I do it again at lunch. And I could care less of, the temperature. Now, I've been fortunate that it's not been pouring rain the times I wanted to get out there. So I've been lucky in that aspect, but there's awnings that I could technically walk under, but I'm still going to be exposed at certain points. But then again, I like my rain. I like getting rained on. So, oh, cool. Okay. If someone came over, update this. Cool. Okay. So yeah, but just for me getting outside, like I've always talked about, and again, I did it very little because of timing, but I've now found that I can create that time at work. And that's what you do is you look for it. Where can you find that to benefit you? And like I said, I go out there and whether I'm on a certain thought or I'm just kind of observing everything going on, I'm just taking in the nature. I'm looking at the grass, and even though I'm on sidewalks and parking lots and I see some trees around but it's just breathing in the air, being in that moment and just not worrying about stuff. And it's just the more I've done it, the better things have been. I've eased up a lot of stuff. I've let go of a lot of stuff that have been, hurting me and stuff, um, and it's just one of those things. You just you gotta fit it in, and you gotta stop making excuses for stuff like that. So, um, awesome. Okay. So we're almost 5 after, so I want to get going. I wanted to, yeah, and I know my dad's good at walking in between the raindrops. I mean, he's like the pro at that. I mean, I've never seen anybody other walk between them than he can. So, I don't know how he does it, but, no, that's cool, Kelly. I'm taking your advice and going on a walk. Been slacking lately because of being so busy. And again, it happens to us all. It really, hey, Joe, good morning, buddy. Kelly's saying it right. You've got to put your foot down at some point and realize you got to take a second for yourself. And that's something I can push on any of you. I'm not saying you got to go stand on the porch or go stand in your backyard just for 5 minutes. You don't have to make it long, but you got to stop because if you're inside worrying about stuff, you're not helping. Get out there, and getting outside is just one aspect. It's where we came from. We belong in nature. We belong to be touching nature. It's just those things. I don't care what time of year it is. I go out in the middle of a snowstorm and I'm doing this stuff. And it's just, you got to do that. Stop being stuck indoors. Stop being stuck behind an electronic device. Go outside for a few minutes. I mean, if you don't want to be outside because other people are outside, well, then go out at night. Go when it's darker, but just get out there. You know what I mean? Do that. So, all right. I am going to get out of here because now it's truly 35 after. So I'm going to get out of here. You guys are awesome. And like my mom always said, if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anything. That's true. Hey, Shiloh. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna run out of here. I'm gonna dip out and let the rest of my day get going. So walk a lot. I'm downtown St. Joseph, a lot of museums. Yeah, there you go. Have a one. There you go. Nicole, that works too. A little bit, not too much, just a little bit. So, but yes, Kelly, have a great weekend. I want you guys to have a fantastic weekend. You guys are awesome. I love you guys all. Always a pleasure to get to see you guys, on these morning shows. And even then, I love the fact that you guys, you know, are waking up and hanging out. So hopefully, this was a good one for all of you. Hopefully you can take some advice if you haven't, or if you needed to be kicked in the butt. Hopefully I did that for you in a nice way. But yeah, get outside there, truly get out there and force yourself to be out there. You know what I mean? Again, simple. It doesn't have to be long, but just do it. And you guys will see the benefits if you keep at it, because I can truthfully say it's working for me. After a lot of weeks of having some struggles, getting outside has just made me forget about all that. I've been able to throw it away, and it's just done wonders. And I'm seeing messages all the time, almost every day. And that's a blessing. So awesome. You guys are awesome. Take care. And we will see you again soon. Keep watching for posts because I am loving doing that. So hopefully you guys are okay with that. Try to get some more great pics in there, and any messages I see or any other cool moments that we need to all work through. And if you guys see something, let me know. We can talk about it. I'll post it. So if you see something unusual, let's do it. So, all right, Jim, you guys have a safe drive home. So again, thank you all for being here on your Saturday mornings. We will see you again soon. You guys have been watching the Mid-Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium. I will see you again. Take care. Have a great weekend. And as always, all my love, light, and peace to each and every single one of you. Take care.